Hey guys, Robbie Falk from Maroon and White Daily on 3 Sports, and I appreciate you for tuning in to another Talkin Dawgs as we're wrapping up another weekend of Mississippi State baseball. The Bulldogs get a 3-1 week against SEC teams. Really productive week for Mississippi State. You go to Pearl on Wednesday. You win the Governor's Cup matchup against Ole Miss, which I thought was a huge win for Mississippi State. Ole Miss is teetering on the verge of missing the NCAA tournament for the second straight year, but they are a top 25 RPI team, and I don't think it's going to drop too far below 30 at the very least. So that was a big non-conference win for Mississippi State, a neutral site win, and they even up the season series against Ole Miss 2-2. Then you have a 3-game set with an Alabama team that's very dangerous, really good lineup top to bottom. They have a couple of good pitchers that have pitched well this year. And State wins 2 out of 3 against Alabama. And I know sour taste in everybody's mouth on Sunday. That's always a tough deal. You lose a Sunday game, you go into the week with a sour taste in your mouth. You don't feel as good about yourself going into it. But I assure you, this was a really, really productive week for Mississippi State. Their goal of hosting in the NCAA tournament has not changed. This team is still right there in the thick of that. And very close to locking up an NCAA tournament berth. I feel like, if they lose the next 7 games, it's going to be hard, to get in the NCAA tournament. But it's hard to imagine Mississippi State not picking up at least a win or two. I think 15 wins in the SEC locks you in for the most part. So one more win in the next 2 weekends, which that's not your goal. But I think at this point we can say Mississippi State is going to the NCAA tournament. If you don't go to the NCAA tournament, it was a massive failure here at the end of the year, and you got some major problems. I don't expect that to happen. So I'm shifting beyond Mississippi State making the tournament. That is the expectation at this point, that Mississippi State will make it. Now we're all focusing on what is Mississippi State going to do as far as the regional is concerned. Are they going to go to a spot as one of the best 2 seeds, or is this going to be a regional host? Right now they're on that path of being a regional host. These next 2 weekends will determine what that's going to look like. And there's definitely some discussion on, is that 17 SEC wins? Because I think right now we're kind of at a number thing for Mississippi State. And you got Arkansas coming up this weekend, which is a top 5 team in every metric, whether it be the rankings that D1 Baseball, Baseball America, Collegiate Baseball, whatever, are putting together, or RPI. This is a top 5 team, Arkansas, and winning in Fayetteville is very difficult. Beating Arkansas, period, is difficult, especially for Mississippi State. They've really struggled against this team since 2019. 2018, they swept them in Starkville when they were the number 1 team in the country. Since then, this has been a difficult series for Mississippi State to win. It's been tough to even win a game against Arkansas for the Bulldogs. They've had their number. For whatever reason, Mississippi State's just really struggled against them. Going into Arkansas this weekend is going to be tough. Arkansas not playing their best baseball right now, but they have, in my opinion, the SEC pitcher of the year in Hagen Smith on Friday nights. That's going to go head-to-head with Cal Steven, who has not been his sharpest the last 2 weeks, but another good start, I thought, on Friday night for Mississippi State to help Mississippi State to a 13-3 win, as the Bulldogs were able to run-rule Alabama on the first night of the weekend. And just a quick little recap. State run rules that first game. 4 home runs, I think, were hit in that ball game, if I'm not mistaken. Hunter Hines hit him another home run. And then yesterday, State was really productive on the offensive side of the ball again. And I thought Drangelo Sangea struggled a little bit early in that game, but was just powerful as the game went on. And for him to gut through that and give Mississippi State 6 innings was huge. State's bullpen was set up perfectly, really, for this ball game on Sunday, and they just kind of blew it early in the game. Brooks Auger was not very good. He only got 2 innings, 4 runs given up. He walked 3 batters, I think, hit another guy. So it just was not a good start. And State could never really stop, those big innings. I think it was 7 or 8-1 before Mississippi State really started to get things going offensively. And it was too late at that point. They made a little bit of noise late, but never got it closer than 4 runs. The State lost that 10-5. So it was a difficult day. Chris Lemonis was not very happy, and we're kind of seeing a shift in Chris Lemonis here in the last few weeks. So last year and the year before, we saw a dejected head coach in Chris Lemonis, I think, a lot. And when he came in post-game pressers, he was a guy that he didn't have answers. He didn't really know what to say. It just felt like things were constantly snowballing for his team. And what we've seen the last few weeks is a coach that seems a little more confident in what he has. And with that confidence comes frustrations when Mississippi State is not able to come through in big situations and big opportunities. Today was a big opportunity for Mississippi State. It was a chance for a sweep to get that 15th win, and now you're looking at you only need 2 or 3 more wins in SEC play to lock up hosting. And this would have gotten them closer to actually being in the national seed conversation. I don't know if it's going to take winning the series against Arkansas, I think, and then you could start talking about the potential of being a national seed. But right now, State did their job, what they had to do coming into the weekend. So they missed a chance to make up a game that they had lost, perhaps against Florida or one of the old games against Ole Miss, or maybe the Georgia game on Saturday. There was an opportunity today to do that, and State just couldn't take care of business. But I think if you're looking at the totality of the weekend and of the week, this was a very productive week once again. And the Bulldogs are sitting here with 10 wins in their last 12 games. You can't really be upset about that. One of the losses was against Alabama, of course, and then they lost on Friday night against Vanderbilt, which at the time was a top 15 game. And I don't think you can really be upset about only winning the series on the road against Vanderbilt. So today was really the only inexcusable game out of this whole run that Mississippi State has had. So they're still playing really good baseball, but you've got to take that into this week. And the Bulldogs have exams this week, so no midweek game. The next ball game will be Friday against Arkansas. And if you're looking at the map, the blueprint, the roadmap, whatever you want to call it, of hosting a regional, we started this talk before I don't know if we really started talking about it against Auburn. I can't remember if we really started talking against Auburn. I think it was really before Vanderbilt. And maybe we did. I don't know. It's not important. Anyways, when we started talking about this, the whole conversation was you need to sweep one of the two home series against Alabama and Missouri. You need to get one of the series against Arkansas and Vanderbilt, and you don't need to get swept in the other one. So far, won the series against Vanderbilt, won the series against Alabama. That's 2 for 2. You've checked off 2 boxes there here in the last 4 weeks of the schedule. Now you have got to find a way to win a game against Arkansas, and if you somehow win 2, Mississippi State, in my opinion, is going into the Missouri weekend with a chance to push itself into the national seed conversation. I vehemently believe that because I think the RPI, if you beat Arkansas, the RPI is going to be in the top 15. You're facing a team that's ranked in the top 3, I think, RPI-wise in Arkansas. Winning 2 out of 3 will get you from wherever they are right now, which might be 21 or something. I believe it will get you inside the top 15. That takes you into the Missouri week. And if you go 4-0 or 3-1 or whatever with North Alabama and Missouri, I don't think you're going to move up a ton, but your RPI is going to be in a spot where the committee can say, okay, they've won 18, 19 games, whatever. At that point, if you win this series against Arkansas, you've got 16 conference wins. You win the series against Missouri, you have 18. You sweep Missouri, you're at 19, which at that point, that it's hard to say that Mississippi State with 19 wins this year and series win at Arkansas, series win at Vandy, series win against Georgia, who's going to be a host. You are a national seed, in my opinion. 19 SEC wins should have Mississippi State in that conversation, but we'll see. We're kind of getting ahead of ourselves there. I think 17-18 is going to put Mississippi State in the conversation. That's 3 more SEC wins. You need to avoid getting swept this weekend. That is the bottom line. If Mississippi State wants to host, I think they need to win at least 1 game against Arkansas this week, and you are in position. Get swept and then sweep Missouri, there's some gray area there. There's going to be some conversation with the committee about this team. But if you're on a 5-weekend streak of winning games in the SEC, and you've got 18 or 19 SEC wins, I would be floored if Mississippi State is not hosting. So these next 2 weekends are absolutely huge for Mississippi State. And I asked Chris Lemonis about this because a lot of coaches are indifferent, at least publicly talking about it, about how they address this with their team. Are you talking about the NCAA tournament? Are you talking about your goals? Are you talking about hosting? He said absolutely. They talk about it all the time. They talk about what they have to do to get in the tournament, what they have to do to host, because the goal is always to get to Omaha, but it's also to host regionals at Dudy Noble Field, because in many people's minds, and that it's not just Mississippi State people, but nationally, this is the best ballpark in college baseball. It was built for hosting regionals. It was built for dogpiling before you get to Omaha, going to a super regional, winning it. That's what this place was built for. They've done it twice. They want to do it again here. So Chris Lemonis, that's why he's a little frustrated. He wants to bring that back to Dudy Noble Field. It's been a tough 2 years, and nothing would be better than Mississippi State, after these last 2 years, bringing the fan base another regional to Dudy Noble Field. So these next 2 weekends are just monumental for this team, and they've got to be able to do the little things right to win these games. There's not anybody in the country, I think, that does the little things right as well as Arkansas, with the exception of dropping a pop-up with a chance to win a national championship. But I won't bring that up if you're an Arkansas fan. This team does those little things really well. They're not going to make a lot of defensive mistakes. They're not going to make a lot of mistakes on the bases. They're going to throw strikes for the most part. They bunt it well. They're well coached. Dave Van Horn, to me, is a top 5 coach in the country. He hasn't won a national championship, but consistently getting to Omaha, consistently putting his team in position to win the SEC. This is a well-coached team. This is a really good program, a great program in Arkansas. And beating them, you cannot beat yourself. You have no chance if you're doing the little things wrong, which is what Mississippi State does all the time. I can look at double-digit games this year. I can pull up double-digit losses for Mississippi State that they could have won had they done the little things right. 7 SEC games I can pull up that I can make a case that Mississippi State could have won the game. 7. 7 out of 10. And I'm really stretching on some of the others. I think they would have. I think, Ole Miss just beat them on Sunday, but who's to say they can do that same thing if Mississippi State takes care of business on that Saturday night? I'll concede that and say Ole Miss just beat them. Texas A&M on Game 3 of that series, I think just came out and just dominated State. So I don't think State did anything wrong there. And then Vanderbilt on Friday. The rest of those games, I can make a case for Mississippi State having beaten itself. And that's what State's got to do better, or they're not going to make it far in this tournament. So we'll see if they're able to do that. Got to do it this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Arkansas. Tough place to play. I don't remember the last time State won there. Maybe did they win in 17? I can't remember. It's been a while. It is. I don't think they won in 17. I couldn't tell you. It's been a long time. It's tough to win there. So we'll see if Mississippi State can do it. But you have to get one. You have to find a way to win one game. And State has done. State hasn't been swept by anybody. They went to Texas A&M and won a game. They went to Florida and won a game in a tough weekend. They went to Vanderbilt and won 2 games. Even on the road, State has been able to win games. So this has been a solid road team. I don't think they're going to be overwhelmed or anything like that. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, thank you guys. I want to continue to remind you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to the Thunder and Lightning podcast. Subscribe to Maroon and White Daily. Just subscribe. Subscribe to everything. Thunder and Lightning is free, and this is free, but it is not free to subscribe to Maroon and White Daily. But I can give you a great deal. I can give you 2 months for $1 on our site right now, which is the time to hit us. You got to come see us right now. We got the transfer portal that's going hot. We'll have baseball in the next couple of months. Transfer portal will heat up for that. But, also we'll have a lot of premium content with baseball, football, things like that, basketball. So please come check us out. 2 months for $1 with the promo code STATE1. So please come check us out. Would love to have you over there on Maroon and White Daily. All right, guys. Hope you have a great week this week, and check back in with us as the week goes on. We're always working over there at Maroon and White Daily. So come check us out. Thanks for watching. Catch you down the road.